Ναι, καλημέρα σας.
Καλημέρα.
Θέλω να δω κατά πόσον αν το έχετε για μένα ή όχι το πιστοποιητικό γεννήσεως.
Εμετείουμε πληροφορίες μόνο στους ιδίους, τους τουρκοκυπρίους. Επομένως, εδώ με το κρατή, εγκοντάζεσαι το κρατή.
Ναι, δάμε δίπλα μου, βασικά. Είναι συγγενείς της και γυρεύκονται. Ναι, να σας την δώσω.
Να μας τη δώσεις την ίδια.
Διώσα την τώρα.
Ναι,
Ναι, okay.
Şurası çok güzel.
You, the relative with the Turkish Cypriot translate.
Benim annemin halası.
Anladım.
Tamam anladım. Annemin halasıdır.
Gerçekten annenin halası. O yani nerede bir annenin halası?
İşte annemin halası 1930'larda bir Filistinliye evlendirildi ve gitti yani ülkeden. Ve onu ararak yani en azından bir kaydını, bir şeyini bulalım, kiminle evlendi, bunları hep araştırırız şu anda.
Kimin evlendiğini bulamayız. Sadece doğum tarihiyle doğum yeri varsa. Adı neydi?
Fetine Memiş.
Even today, women's opinions do not seem to matter enough. We are still shouting to have our voices heard. In the past, women's opinions mattered even less, if at all. When my great aunt was forced to marry against her will, nobody asked her if, at the age of 14, she wanted to leave with a stranger to go to a foreign land, knowing she might never see her family and homeland again. Nobody asked her, and nobody asked after her. My family remained silent. I will not.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly talk show for women, by women, about women, between women. From the voice that is desperate to be heard to the heroine story that inspires. This is Magda Zenon recording from the buffer zone in Nicosia, and today I have with me Pembe Mentesh. Pembe is a treasured friend and also a very active member of the community. She's worked for the UNDP, she's worked for the EU, the position she holds now, and she's also been an active member of civil society in terms of women's rights and human rights.
Thanks for having me again today, Magda. I was born in Australia and my parents migrated from Cyprus to Australia in the early 70s. It wasn't my plan to come back. It wasn't my plan to stay this long. That I decided that I would come here following the position with the UNDP. Because it was a short-term contract, I thought, okay, I'll stay for a couple of years and see how it goes. But there was something about Cyprus that made me feel, at home. I felt at home. There was something that was drawing me here, and I knew that I wanted to stay more than just a couple of years.
The other day, you don't get letters every day. Hadi gel. Okay, Martin. Wait for me. I'll be right back, okay?
But you came at a better time to Cyprus. You came after the opening of the checkpoints.
I did.
The checkpoints opened in 2003 and you came in 2006.
Yes, and I was
So
here
you
in
didn't-
2004 as well, so that was my first experience of the checkpoints being opened, and it was an extraordinary feeling for me because I was always fascinated with what was going on in the south, because it was always so forbidden for us, you know, in the north, looking to the south and looking from gates and barbed wire and wondering what the hell's going on over there.
What is home? Home is where you grow up. Home is where your family is, where you feel safe, where you feel you belong. To be torn from that, I can't imagine. Our little island of Cyprus was divided by a war in which so many people lost their homes. But your loss of home came many years before that. While almost everyone talks of their losses during the war, nobody talked of you being dragged against your will from your home. It's as if you never existed. But Fetine Mentesh, you did.
Besides all the work that you do and all the settling, you have now recently started a personal project.
I was working on a family tree project during my first or second year of university. So there I was listing all of my grandparents, brothers and sisters that I knew. And I was just double checking with my mum, you know, if this was correct. And then she said, oh, there's one more. And she said, I have an auntie called Fetine. The word my mum used was she was sold to an Arab. I was like, what do you mean sold to an Arab? I thought, why was she sold? Why would her father sell her?
Was your mother, the minute she told you it was sold, her auntie was sold, did she actually shut down, or was she open to questions being asked?
Well, I started asking her questions like, why was she sold? And then my mum was saying that, you know, it was because of poverty and all these things. And then I said, well, you know, how did everyone in the family feel about that? And she said, I don't know. She was giving me very brief answers. And I said, well, where is she? Did anyone try to, where is she now? Can we call her? Can we talk to her? Do you know where she is? And she said, no, I don't. And she was basically giving me very short answers and saying,
did you feel that she was uncomfortable or
definitely,
upset? Or
definitely. I felt like I was opening up a healed wound. When I did come to Cyprus, I didn't talk to my grandfather about it. I wish I did. I really wish I did. But it was such a sensitive topic, and because there was this kind of unwritten rule or agreement in our family that
we don't talk about
this.
O günlerde şartlar gerçekten çok zordu. Çünkü işte 2 Dünya Savaşı yaşanmıştı. Sonra müthiş bir kuraklık vardı Kıbrıs'ta. Bir de tabii özellikle Filistinlilerin ağırlıkta olduğu, Araplar Müslüman ve biz de Müslüman olduğumuz için bu kızlara talep çoğalınca, çünkü ikimiz de İngiliz sömürgesiydik ve savaş alanlarında birbirimizi tanıyorduk. Bu yüzden işte bu kızları sattık biz. Çoğunun yanı başında bir Kur'an vardı. Mesela yaşlı kadınlar bulduk 85 yaşında, 92 yaşında ve kesinlikle bize konuşmayı reddettiler. Nerelerdeydiniz? Niye gelmediniz? Bir bayram günü olur, herkesin evi dolar taşar. Benim de gözlerimden yaşlar dolar taşar. Ailede hiç bilen yok mu kim evlendi, nereye gitti?
Şimdiye kadar olmadı ama dediğim gibi yani şimdiye kadar da hiç kimse konuşmak istemedi zaten.
Yani o zaman kimler gitti, onlarla mı gidildi birlikte, onlardan buraya gelen oldu mu? Onların ailesinden oraya giden oldu mu? Yani biraz çorabı sök. Ondan sonra şeyde bir çıkabilir meydana hepsi. Sonra eğer bütün bu süreçte bir telefon kodu yahut herhangi bir posta kodu falan bulursan o çok önemlidir. Oradan varabiliriz biraz daha ileriye.
Selam Cemal. Hoş geldin. Hoş bulduk.
nedenlerini araştırdığımızda neden verirlerdi kadının rızası olmadan? Birincisi Şehnaz'ın üzerinde durduğu var bir tane. O çok ilginçtir. İşte dünya savaşlarına katıla diyor. Erkek nüfusu zaten azaldıydı. Evet. Kızların talebi çıkmazdı ki ben onu hiç düşünemediydim mesela o noktayı. Başka bir sebep var. Ekonomik kriz. Kızını gönderdiğin zaman rahat hayat yaşasın diye gönderin. Ben düşünemem çocuğum için böyle bir şey. Sen düşünemem. Ama evde ekmeği olmayan o günkü insan düşünebilir. Başka bir olay daha var ki benim karşılaştığım bir noktaydı bu. Kız bir şekilde bakireliğini kaybediyor. Ve aile bunu bir şekilde öğreniyor. Ve kızı cezalandırmak adına da yapıyorlar bunu. Biz bugünün penceresinden baktığımız için biraz da yanılıyoruz aslında. Herkesin hikayesi farklı. Ve mutluluğa olan da var, kötü duruma düşen de var.
Poverty, lack of women's rights, lack of choices. Between the 1920s and late 1940s, when young Turkish Cypriot girls were being forced to marry foreign men, what were the British, who were governing Cyprus at the time, doing to stop this? Couldn't they have prevented this from happening?
To try and stop marriages could be reasonably interpreted as a violation of human rights, of a basic human right of every person to decide whom to get married to. So the British, I think, were very careful. In 1935, there was first of all a publication in the Parish Temps that Arabs from Palestine went to Cyprus to buy a wife, and that Turkish Cypriot and Muslim families were selling their girls. That publication was immediately taken by the Women's Freedom League of London, an organization deeply concerned with the rights of women, and they raised the matter to the Colonial Office in London, demanding an investigation. It was generally believed at that time that the rights of these girls, some of which were underage, below the age of 14, and some of whom got married to people in Palestine who were already married, were abused. The matter was brought before the League of Nations as well and was discussed there. And it was for this, after these events, that the British Colonial Office in London was compelled to investigate the matter.
I was asking around and, seeing if there was anyone else out there that had a relative or knew someone who was married and came back. And I discovered a woman called Nejla who was married to a Palestinian but came back to Cyprus in Morfu area. So I went to talk to her to see if she knew my auntie and to see if she'd or had been heard of her or had been in contact with her.
Benim babam polisiydi güzel yurtta. At sürükledi gene öldü. Kaldım 2 yaşında, ben 8 aylık kız kardeşim.
Eşi ölünce Lefkoşa'daki mal varlığını, evini falan satıp İzmir'e yerleşti. İzmir'de akrabaları vardı. 1 yıl kadar kaldıktan sonra tekrar sattı oradan, geri döndü. Geldiği zaman hastanedeydi, ameliyat geçirmiş, kırbarsak ameliyatı falan. Bu arada hastanede yatırken büyük dayımız, artık annemin dayısı olur, nenemin dayısı. Götürmüş hastaneye dedemi, gördü, o da beğendi kendini herhalde dedi. Verdiler yani, söz hakkı bence yoktu. Annesinin de söz hakkı yoktu ki dedesi, dayısı verdi.
Geldi aldı beni daha götürdü eve yoluna verdi.
Annem 10 yaşındaydı.
Savaşçı 10 yaşında gittim, savaş çıktı. Kaçtık geldik Şam'a.
Annem galiba 13'üydü, o 17'ydi.
O da 17'ydi.
Çocuk var. Bütün gün 5 taş vermişler. Bir araya koydulardı babamı.
Oradaki akrabalarınızdan temastasınız Filistin'de.
Vallahi ben 50 yaşında kardeşlerimi buldum. Orada 7 tane kardeşim daha var.
Siz oraya gittiğinizde başka Kıbrıslı bayanlar da vardı oraya evlendiği.
Ya, Pembe'nin orada büyük halası.
Neydi adı?
Fetine.
Bilmem, annem tanıdı hep onları.
Fetine Memiş.
Tanırsaydı.
Evet.
Gelirdi anneme, bir sürü geldi zamanlarını ben unuttum.
Biraz böyle yanına tut Neşra teyze böyle. Ha yaşa. Bir de böyle yakından çekeyim.
When I was in that house, I started getting these images of her. I imagined her sitting outside on the porch, overlooking the sweeping plains and the orchards and the vineyards. And when she left, she said to her father, "If you send me away, you will never see me again." How would I feel if this happened to me? If I was to be dragged away from all that and sent to an unknown land where I don't know what it's going to look like, what it's going to smell like, how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to be treated, far away from my family where I'm not safe. When I put myself in her shoes, that's when I decided that I had to do something. So first of all, when someone's born, they have a birth certificate. So I thought if Fetine Memiş was born in Alehtora, then somehow Limassol district office or somewhere around there would have her birth certificate. They made it very clear to me that if I went, they wouldn't give it to me.
Okay, you're too far.
I'm too far removed. So I was very lucky. My mum was here at the time and, I convinced her to come with me. I think I actually tricked her. I think I told her we were just going for a trip to Limassol. And I think I told her on the way, by the way, I'm taking you to the district office.
Ne bileyim ben Mehmet amcama da sorduydum Cemaliye halamın cenazesinde de bu konuyu dedi bana. Bulman onu artık dedi. Ne için öyle söyledi?
Çok seneler geçti. Onun için derler
Tam da
öyle.
kendileri ne için hiç düşünmedi.
Eskiden-
Arayalım, bulalım bu kadını.
Eskiden
Kardeşimizdi.
ya telefon ya mektuplaşma. Sonra onun gücüne gitti ki öyle verdi kendi babası da gitti diye. İnsan severek gitse, isteyerek gitse belki bir yazamasa bile adını ise bile herkes gider de komşunun çocuğundan bile mektup yazdırırdı. Bu kadın öyle olsa giderdi değilim.
Dur. Şey.
Ne oldu?
Aleftora'dan. Aleftora.
Bakalım bir bulalım. Hadi birisi.
Tamam, mersi. Uf, ya ben bir yere yazdım. 1923'üydü galiba Salih Bey.
1922.
22, ha. Sonra bir yere yazdıydım acaba. 22. Anne kalemin yoktur.
29 sene sonra ben doğdum.
Gördün? Demek ki
60 isem ben 29 daha 89 yaşındadır kadın.
ben de öyle hesapladıydım işte.
90'a yakın.
Salih Bey istersen hep kardeşlerin ismini yazayım size.
Memiş Hüseyin evet.
5 kardeş.
Anne gel bir tayka bak.
5 kardeşim var ya. Yaz bir yere be Pembe tarihlerini söyle.
Bir taykacık bakalım. Anne Fethiye olarak yazdılar.
Fethiye.
Ne için öyle yazdılar?
Ne? Fethiye ne?
Fethiye değil, Fethiye yazın.
Bir şey değil.
Suddenly she became real. Suddenly we had evidence that this person existed. It was at that point that my mum realised how serious I was.
Your face has changed.
Yeah.
As you said, your face has changed.
Yıllardan sonra neredendir aklına geliyor? Pembe ulaşım bu
Yıllar
kadar.
var Serar bana da ben
Kaç sene geçti aradan?
Ama şimdi bunu annem öğretti bana. İşte bir yerden geçtiğinde bir halan varsa, bir teyzen varsa duracaksın, seslenesin. Ne için bu halamı da tanımayayım değil? günah değil. Çok
Buradakiler
acıdım yani
görümcemlerin
işteki
başkalarının hiç
sattılar.
umuru değil aileden.
Merak ederim inşallah buluruz kendini bilmem.
Sattılar. Satma da değil yasam. Herhalde yoksulluktan o zaman. Daha iyi şey mi bulacak? Daha iyi tarih mi çıkardı başına?
Ya.
O zengin idi, şeydi de herhalde uygun gördü o zaman. Satma da değil yasam.
Verirler.
Verdi.
Ama şey
Ama karşılığında
Yoksulluktan
para
kurtulsun
verdi
diye.
adam. 55 lira galiba.
Zaten o da vermezler. Bizde başlık parası bize de yok.
Tabii.
Bir miktar para verirler.
Araplar zengin idi. Verirlerdi başlık parası. Türkiye'de görmek hala daha verirler.
Satma biraz
Senin
ağır
çocuk-
galiba satma
sen-
satma sözü kelimesi.
Senin kızın var mı? Sen
Var.
kızını verir misin? Uzak
Yok.
memlekette de hiçbir zaman daha görmeyesin.
Zaman değişti artık.
Vermen değil.
Vermem tabii.
İşte konu budur işte. Yani ben merak ederim bu kadına ne oldu. Halamızdır.
Your aunt, Fetine, was it a sale?
Was it a sale? When we talk about the word sale, we have to be very clear what we mean by that, and we have to look at it from both perspectives, because according to the Arab tradition and the Arab community, they have a tradition called mahr, which is the bride, which is the dowry for the bride. But in their tradition, the bride price is given to the bride. Okay, that's her guarantee. If anything goes wrong in the marriage, that's her kind of compensation, or her
way out.
Her way out, maybe, you know, like it's her compensation and her access to freedom. The reason why it becomes a problem for us, and the reason why the word sold is used, is because the money was given to the father. In many of the cases, it was against the girl's will. And the money didn't go to her. She was sent somewhere where she didn't know anyone and didn't have any access to money. So if things did go wrong, she didn't have that money to...
She was stuck.
She was stuck.
İstemezdi gitsin. Derler köylüler istemezdi gitsin. Kaçtı çıktı da kaçtı. Kaçak kaçtı da. Bir gece de kaldı mı onda kalmadı mı bilmem. Daha ertesi gün mü o akşam mı bilmem gittiler buldular kendine getirmişler. Da biri bir kolundan Araplar mı bilmem kim tutardı gelin de gidermiş idi. Da döndü öyle arkasına baktı anne sağlar. Aha anacığım dedi günahımı kesmeyesin demiş kendine. Hep evlatlarından fazla benim de beni verdin gideyim yaban yerlere demiş. Ağlayarak sürükleyerek beni götürdüler. Yani her açıldığında ağlardı. Peki sağım unutmam dedi acısını.
The day that we're at the Limassol district office, my mum started remembering this photo that she had seen at one of the neighbours in the village. She was about 10 or 11 and she was playing in the streets in Aleftora with her friends, and then she went to a neighbour's house and there was some photos on the mantle. The woman, the owner of the house, said to her, "Do you know who this is?" And she said, "No." And she's looking at a photo of two women, one with long black braids and one with short hair. And she said, "Oh, this is your auntie." And she said, "Which auntie?" And she said, "It's your father's sister." And her name's Fetine. So my mum, being Fetine herself, because this is how much my grandfather loved his sister, he named my mum after her. So I started asking her about this photo and asking her what she remembers about the photo, who else was in the photo. And then when we came back to Nicosia that night, we started making some phone calls. And one of my mum's friends who's from the same village came over that night, and she started calling the relatives of the other woman that was in the photo. And then we spoke to her daughter.
Selamlar, rahatsız etmedim inşallah.
Geldiler istediler kendini. O günkü geldiler de istediler. İstemezdi yani.
Sen gördüğün Arap yani çok kişi geldi yoksa bir kişi geldi?
2 erkeğiydi. Bir de kadın geldi, Lefkoşalıydı. simsarçılık ederdi.
Adamın adını hatırlar mı?
Adamın adını hatırlamam nedir.
Hatırlayacak biri var mı yani köylümüzlerin yani
orasını bilmem
köylülerimiz
onu.
arasında biri varsa sorabileceğimiz biri ya da bir isim verebilirseniz.
İsimlerini bilmem nasıl adılar. Yalnız bilirim ki Filistin'e verdiler. Hatta bir köylü kız daha gittiydi.
Onun adı neydi?
Fezile'ydi o.
Fezile. Annemin anlattığına göre bir fotoğraf varmış yani halamın. Yani gördüğü bir yerde. Sen de sen de gördüler ya Necmi abla da sen
Ben de gördülersem. Annem ki gittiler Leymos'una da verdiler diyeni. Gittiler fotoğrafçıya da resim de çektiler. Kalsın hatıra.
Şimdi bu fotoğraf sizin elde var mı? Annenin halam var mı bu fotoğraf sizin elinizde? Bakabilir miyiz?
Vereyim ya.
Tamam. Budur halam.
Odur.
Bu da annemdir.
Annemdir.
She's tall.
She's quite tall, yeah, and she's young. And this is Sherife, her neighbour. They were very, very close friends. My auntie had to go to do all her paperwork to leave Cyprus and to get married and everything, so she had to take photos. And Sherife went along as well and said, let's take a photo together as well so that we can remember each other. At the time, this was the way that they took photos. The photography studio would give you the clothes and the props. You would take the photo and then you would put your own clothes back on and leave. If you look closer, you can see that, you know, that they're wearing matching bracelets.
Oh, yes.
The shoes are a little bit tight or loose.
But they're the same kind of shoes.
Exactly.
Look, shame her feet look as if they overflowing from the shoes. Wonder what was going through her mind at this time before she left. There's actually tears in her eyes. I'm not surprised. She's leaving the next day.
Yeah, or probably the same day. We don't know. Having a photo in my hand and a birth certificate really pushed me to try to look for her. The next step was for me to try to find her marriage records.
Okay.
To find out when did she get married, who did she marry, where did she go, could I find out more about her husband? But the family court burnt down in 1995, so a lot of these old marriage records were burnt and there was no digital archives. So not having access to any other records, I realised that the only other way I'm going to really start, you know, getting more information is to get my family to talk.
Nasılsın? Biraz geciktik gelelim. Nasılsın? İyisin?
Alektora'da doğdum. Alektora'da 16 yaşına kadar orada kaldım. 16 yaşından sonra babam kızdı bana. Kaçtım gittim askere.
Ne için kızdı sana?
Çoban edecekti. Ben de çoban olayım istemedim. Yani sevmezdim ben çobancılığı. Kaçtım ondan sonra gittim askere. Askerde 3 sene 86 gün asker yaptım, İngiliz askeri. Babam iyi iş yapmazdı. Akardın ne güzel düzerdi işini, ondan sonra hırsızlık ederdi. Giderdim hapis, o hayvanlar hep...
Kim bakardı?
Hepsine çalarlardı, başkaları giderdi. Bizim köyde bir adam vardı, kırmızı defteri açtık dedi, bir de siyah defter var. Yani borcun olanın iki yerdeydi hesapta. Aldıydı 30 tane keçi aldıydı, koyuncu olan da. Onları da aldıydı o adam, hiçbir şey kalmadıydı. Yani,
Zor muydu yani o zaman hayat?
çok zor.
Fakirlik falan vardı.
Fakirlik çok fakirlik vardı. Yani ekmek parasını kazananı mumdan gösterir. Fakirlik çok.
Nasıl geçinirdiniz baban olsaydı? Nenem çalışırdı, annem
Çalışırdı. Onda bunda anam şey derdi, beslerdi bizi. Öyle bolluk yoktu. Anamız yoğururdu ekmek. Yoğurduğu zaman tabaca vardı. Böyle büyük de onun üstüne koydu ekmekleri. Öterde bazı sıçanlar nerede yerdi, ya küflenirdi. O küflüleri o sıçanların şeyini ayıklar da yerdik.
Kaç kardeştiniz?
Kardeş idik. 4.
Senin büyüğün kimdir?
Benim büyüğüm Salih'di, Fetine halam vardı, halam. Sene 35 galiba. O ya 35 idi ya 36. Ya hatırlarım yeni. Öyle ufacıydı. Saçları bunda uzun. Öyle esmer idi. Çok severdi. Öyle anın evde bizimle hiç kavga etmezdi. Babam sattığında gene o gün zorla götürdüydü kendini. Fakirlikten herkes kızını satardı.
Aynı nenem ne dediydi bu konuda?
Ne diyecek, ne diyebilirdi? Döverdi dayı.
Kim döverdi?
Deden döverdi. Anam ağzını açsa basardı yine topuzunda. Yani.
Peki bir fotoğrafı kaldı mıydı sende? Hiç fotoğrafım yok.
Hiç yok. Hiç. Ne fotoğrafı var ne hiç. Olsaydı bunu bırakırdım. Yani öyle yoktur.
Şimdi ben götürdüm annemi Aleftora'ya. Annemle böyle dolaşırdık köyün içinde. Annem ansızın hatırladı dedi. Ben hatırlarım dedi. Halanın bir fotoğrafını gördüydüm dedi. Dedim getirdim isten göresin.
Getir.
Tamam. Şimdi bu fotoğrafın orijinalini de göstereceğim sana. Orijinalde Şerif abla da vardır. Öyle hatırlan halamı amca.
Yeah.
Seninle sana getirdim.
Aynı vallahi. Sademedim saçları da uzun.
The most amazing thing he told me was that when he was a soldier with the British contingency, he actually went to Palestine. And there was someone called Yahya who spoke Arabic and Turkish. And he told him that he has a sister here. You know, he didn't think that there'd be a chance of even finding her, but he thought he'd ask. And then 2 days later, his brother-in-law came to the camp and met him.
Okay.
And he said, don't worry, your sister's fine. We have 2 kids. You know, I'll bring her back here in a week and you can see her. So, you know, please don't worry about her. She's okay. So this is the husband of Fetine that met my uncle. So their brother-in-law. And then a week later, they moved camp from Nazareth to somewhere else. So he didn't get to see his sister. I said to him, do you remember his name? And he said, I think his name was Muhammad. And I thought, okay, that kind of narrows it down to 5 million people. And I said, did he tell you where they lived, or do you remember what area they were from? And then he mentioned a place called Kalkilia. That's what led me to Palestine. Kalkilia was in the West Bank. It's under Israeli occupation. And I have a lovely Palestinian friend here in Cyprus who assisted me to call the municipality. She spoke to them in Arabic. She explained the situation. She got an email address for their external affairs or external communications person. She emailed them the photo and my details and basically every piece of information we had. And we said, if this person exists, can you please help us to find her? And the person on the other end of the line said, well, definitely, I will do everything I can because my mother is also Turkish Cypriot.
Whoa.
He sent a message to her a week later and said, call me, I have some information for you. He said, we found her children for you. In my mind, I didn't really think that it would happen and happen so quickly. So I was shocked and I didn't feel like I was emotionally prepared. How would she react? But what if she doesn't want to meet me? Because don't forget, she said, if you send me away, you'll never see me again.
الو مرحبا.
الو مرحب.
هذا بيت الاستاذ يوسف محمد عبد النبي حسين.
تفضلي مين؟
انا بحكي معك من قبرص.
اهلا تفضلي.
انا هون مع بمبي منتش، وهي ما بعرف اذا حكى معكم الاستاذ نضال. حكى معنا وهي صار لها فتره عم تدور على عمة أبوها اسمها فتين ممش.
بالضبط.
وهو الأستاذ نضال امبارح حكى إنه يوسف بيكون ابن فتين ممش.
يوسف بيكون بابا ابن.
يعني أنت بنته ليوسف.
أنا بنت ليوسف.
شو اسمك أنت؟
أنا اسمي صابرين.
Pembe, this is Sabrine. She's the daughter of Yusuf, and she confirms that her grandmother's name is Fetine Mimish.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And she's Turkish. She came from Cyprus.
وشو بتعرفي أنت عن ستك؟
رحت مع بابا.
طب يلا أوكي. مرحبا أستاذ يوسف.
مرحبا أهلين الله يخليك. يا نعم.
إيه أنا بحكي معك من قبرص، بحكي نيابة عن بمبي منتش. بتخيل أستاذ نضال حكى معك بالموضوع.
حكى معنا والله. إن شاء الله على اليوم يا مدرس.
إيه إن شاء هي يعني أنت شفت الصورة؟ أعطاك هو الصورة هي نفسها.
أعطاني الصورة أعطاني الصورة وفي عندي صورة صغيرة نفس طبق الأصل هي.
طب فيك تحكي بالإنجليزي ولا ما في؟
والله ما بنعرف إنجليزي.
Yusuf, he was trying all the time, you know, to look for his relative, but then they told him because of the civil war and all the problems that people changed their places, and you know he couldn't find any information. But he's been looking for information, and he's like, you know, both of them are crying because they've been waiting for a long time to find anything about their relatives in Cyprus.
Can you ask about my auntie? Is she still alive?
وأمك يعني ست فتين لسه عايشة ولا؟
لا ماتت قبل سنتين بس.
No, she died 2 years
65 يا ربي، 65.
5 years ago. 5
عفواً.
years ago. 5 years ago.
Oh, we were expecting.
اوكي انا هون مع بيمبي، هي زميلتي، احنا بنشتغل مع بعض، والوالده بتكون اخت جدها، يعني جدها او امها، وحتى انه امها هي عندي، هي اللي عندي في المكتب انا وياها. نعم.
قبرصية؟
ايوه
قبرصية؟
ايوه
يعني بتقرب لامي ولا هذا؟
بتكون امك بتكون اخت جدها.
اخت جدها.
وحتى امها اسمها فتين.
والله.
على اسم الوالده. ايوه
على اسم امي. طب هسه في هاي الحاله شو بدنا نعمل؟
والله من لحظه شوي اسال، انا مع بيمبي في المكتب، بس هي للاسف ما بتحكي عربي. he wants the email, he wants the contact, he wants everything, you know, he just want to to be in touch. الو ايوه. فيك تحكي شوي انجليزي؟ لانه بيمبي بدها تحكي معك. اوكي.
مرحبا صابرين. مرحبا. Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. It's so nice to talk to you.
I'm very happy.
I'm sorry.
I think she would have been happy that someone came to look for her. Regardless of the fact that she had said, if I leave now, you will never see me again.
Yeah. She's still part of my family. I didn't get to meet her, but it didn't mean I couldn't get to know her through her children.
صباح الخير.
مرحبا صابرين. Hi. How are you? كيف حالك؟ الحمد لله. كيفك انتي؟ I can't wait. We're almost half an hour more. I will give to Bilal to explain, and you can explain to him how we find your house, okay? Not long to go. Almost there. كم هو؟ Who's this?
سكر الباب.
لما هو
كيف يا زلمه سكر الباب هاي
عادي.
لا بلاش نط هلا بدنا نقعد.
شو اسمك؟
شو اسمك؟
يوسف. It's Yusuf. السلام عليكم. Look at this. I can't believe I'm here.
اهلا السلام عليكم. سلامات. كيف حالك؟ كيف انت؟ اهلين يا هلا يا هلا. كيفك؟ كيف انت يا الله؟
الحمد لله.
احمد هيثم.
السلام عليكم. How are you? كيف حالك? Right. So nice to see you finally. Locals. Everyone.
أعطيهم
إني.
فتينة ماما.
My mom. My mom.
ماما.
Oh.
فتينة.
You want a photo of her?
عندك؟
This is.
هاي ستك فتينة بصير بس ستك أنا ليش لبلبتيها شلف
What do you know about their marriage? How they met each other?
أبوي هو جماعة 3-4 هاي موجودين هان عنا جابوا مع قبرصيات وراح معهم تجوزوا هناك في قبرص.
لا كتبوا الكتاب وهنا تجوزوا.
ما هو كتب له كتاب هناك واجه تجوز هنا دخل هنا بس كتبوا الكتاب هناك في قبرص.
فاحنا
جاهز كل شيء
فطبعا
هناك نفس هناك.
ابوي وغير ابوي راحوا عندنا من كلكيل كفار القبرصيات. راحوا على قبرص عن طريق سوريا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد على طريق حيفا في السفينه وارواح لهم هناك اللي كانت تعمل لهم الباسبورتات هي بريطانيا. هي بريطانيا لا كذب مستودع على القمر يعملوا الباسبورتات ويروحوا يركبوا في السفينه ويروحوا. فطبعا هناك كانوا معرفين وكانوا سماسرة اللي بده عنده بنت بده يجوزها مثل عندنا موجود
جيزة
رسمية. فهذا مثل ما تقول كله اجى من فلسطين بده يتجوز.
بيعمل بشاكر هسه في عندنا 18 وحده اللي هن قبرصيات في كلكيلي. بكينا احنا صغار يعني مش كبار يعني صغار. انا عمري باكي 7 سنين واحمد باكي عمره 9 سنين وامي في 48 تزعلت هي وهذا وخلص بدهاش العيشه انا وراحت عنا. طلعت على القدس. لما طلعت على القدس قعدت هناك على هناك في وحده بقبرصيه اسمها شو اسمها القبرصيه فضيله اسف ايش حسين اسف حسين. هاي تركيه قبرصيه الثانيه. امي راحت طلعت من عندنا من هان راحت هناك.
بعدين يعني انا سمعت منه هذا نضال الجمعود مخرف ابو هيثم كاين له انه في بعرفش صحيفه اسرائيليه ناشره انه كاينين الكبارصه يبيعوا بناتهم بيع. فاحنا هذا إشي يعني بيسيء الى امياتنا يعني هذول الكبرصيات امياتنا وجداتنا هذا بيسيء لهم الإشي. احنا ما بشرفنا يقولوا عنهم انهم كانوا ينباعوا بيع مثل بيع العبيد. فاحنا رحنا جبنا حجه الطلاق من محكمه طول كرم انا وجوزي. رحنا ناقشنا وجبنا الحجه وفي الحجه هي اللي مطلقه نفسها. فهل يعقل انه يعني واحدة مبيوعة بيع بتقدر انها تطلق نفسها؟ من المعقول بتقدر انها يعني واحد انباعت بيع بتقدر تطلق نفسها. يعني الواحد يفكر من عقله
وتتسجل في دائرة شو اسمه
هي اللي مطلقة نفسها. وهي الحجة هالكيت احنا بنوريهم اياها. حتى هو هذا نضال جمعود حتى قال انا بدي هذه الحجة اظهرها للصحيفة اللي نصب.
تشوكو
تشكر ederim. He loves fishing. When you come to Cyprus, you can go fishing with him.
How did you feel when you found out that there'd been a divorce?
I was shocked. I was like, wow, way to go, Fetine. How did you manage that in 1949?
I inherited the genes. I'm feisty.
Yeah, I was really, well, it's almost impossible in 1949 Palestine.
The wife Fatina has been divorced from her husband Mohammed by a divorce of minor degree, and that she is not permitted to him except by a new contract and dowry.
السنة هان في البلقين قاعد السنة مشان تضل شوفنا وين. بعدين طلعت على القدس. هسه إني عاد بقول لك سافرت ليش اسمها القدس طلعت. هسه كلها جوز أبوها لفردوس قال لها شو رايك نجوزك ولا تروح على قبرص. أنا بتقول لها بدي أتم هان مشان أولادي أشوف أولادي. قال لها شو بتعرف وين لمصر. بعدها بشوي هيك هي بتقول له أنا ليش بدي أضل قاعد اللي بسمعها الكيتي إني أنا قاعد عندهم وأنا مرة يعني مطلقة ومش منطق يعني أضل عندهم عيب يقول لك هذا. قال لها شو بدك إياه؟ بدك تتجوزي؟ قالت لا تعرف إحنا صغار لو ما بنخليهاش. بس صغار إحنا شو يعني زينا ساعات فيش يعني ضعضعنا كثير بس هي غصب عنها مسيني يعني أنا بكيت مأيدها. والله تتعمل بس بكت تشتغل وتتعمل لأنه فيش أشغال فيش شيء حد قيمة على علبة المنظور هاي الصغيرة أنا بصحى يعني تشتريها وتدهن على الخبز بس مشان ناكل. يعني هي ربنا الله اشتغلت مشان تحصد القمح شاطرة هي تحصيد القمح فاهم بجوز بتاعك لما تقول بك عندنا كمان بكت تشتغل تحصد قمح والشعير وإيش كل شيء. يعني بدك حاملة وفيش أسرع منها في مش اسمه في الحصيد ويعطوها عاد شيء هذا يعني حتى أبوي حرم الجيز الأجنبي. فهي مثل ما تقول ما فيش فايدة يعني صممت إلا خلاص قالت أنا بدي أروح على أهلي أنا من هالكلام. قال لها أنت بدك تروح على أهلك هو معناته بدك تروح بدك ترجعي عشان أظل أشوف أولادي عني وعن أخوي وعن أختي. هسه تجوزت خلفت لما أنا رحت عليها باقي عندها ولدين وبنت إننا من القدس كمان مرة عندنا هنا وشافت أبوي يعني وهذا بس يعني أبوي بكى منيح معها كثير بس اللي بكى مش منيح معها اللي هو ستي وعمتي.
Did she try to write letters to her family or contact them in any way?
في واحد عندنا كان ناخذ واحد قبرصية وكان يكتب بالتركي فكنت أروح عليه أنا يعني توديني عليه يكتب مكتوب فاهم عليه وأنا أخذه وأجيب لها إياه وتكون أروح أحطه بالبريد. قالوا من صاحي تعريفي في هذاك الوقت ولا أكل بس كل هالمكاتيب اللي كانت تروح ورحت وما رجعش منها يعني الأساس إنها نعرف إنه وصلها ولا ما وصل
روحي ورد جوابش وأنا بكيت أروح.
فهي يأست يعني يأست من الأعمال اللي كانت تقابلها بعدها وقفت بطلت كنا نروح.
وقفت مع الأوضاع.
Where did all those letters go? Could we have found you earlier? Could you have returned home if you'd wanted to?
Exhilaration, upset, nervousness, disappointment, lots of things. But I knew that, this was just the beginning, so I better brace myself for more of this.
Genelde yani ben buraya geldiğimde, burada 30 yıldır, ilk geldiğimde bir sürü Kıbrıslı vardı. Her taraftan, Sinde'den, Baf'tan, Pergama'dan, her taraftan, Lefkoşa'dan dolu kadınlar vardı burada, evli Kıbrıslı. Gelirlerdi bana, ya mektup okudulardı, ya konuşurlardı. Çoğu da unuttuydu gerçi Türkçeyi. Gerçi siz biraz geç geldiniz, keşke daha erken geleydiniz. O zaman sizi götürürdüm, gösterirdim, tanışırdınız, onlarla röportaj yapardınız. Ne kadar içleri kırık, kalpleri kırık, ne kadar ailelerine karşı küskünler. Yani çok kalpleri kırık öldü. Ve en büyük acı, hiç aranılmadılar.
The other fascinating thing about Fetine is she had 2 marriages and 13 children in total.
Wow.
I called my mum and she was in Australia and I said, congratulations, you have 13 cousins, new cousins that you don't know about.
You look like my auntie.
Yeah.
Doesn't she look like my auntie?
Oh yeah, I told you.
Yeah, Asana, everybody, she's yeah.
That's my sister, big sister. That's my sister.
Assalamu alaikum, merhaba.
That's my stepmom.
Merhaba. Merhaba. Okay, wait. So the first wife was Sarah. She died. She
Yes.
had one son.
Yes, one son, yes.
Then his second wife,
My mother.
your mother.
My mother's second.
Yes.
My
My auntie.
mom
Yes.
second.
She was the
Fatina.
second
Yes.
wife.
Yes.
My auntie, she had
Yes.
10 children.
10 children.
So you're 10
Okay.
brothers and sisters.
نعمة.
Naama.
يعني
Okay.
بس
That's the
no
third.
children.
No children.
No.
This is the fourth wife.
Yes.
Yes, that's the fourth. This cousin, my father's cousin.
Okay. Where is the fifth wife? What's her name?
The fifth wife, we don't know her name, and I don't know her name.
Yes.
It's Islamic culture is okay to have more than one wife.
4, just 4.
You're allowed to have 4.
That's you have 4. My dad, he top now. He take 5.
MashaAllah. Ask your sister-in-law if Amma Mustafa wants to have another wife, what will she say?
Ulila. No.
What no?
I asked her, she said no.
Why no?
No.
Yes.
And your
Not
father's
Sana.
name is Shafiq?
Shafiq,
My dad, 2005, he died.
And then your mom in 2007?
Yes. My mom, she liked to cook. She liked to clean. And she liked, all the time, she liked to do something for the neighbor or something happens. She helped him. And she helped all my sister, my brother, when everybody had babies. She helped him too. And she like all the time the music, the song from Turkish is Mustafa, ya Mustafa's name.
Ah,
Yeah, that's,
okay.
yeah.
Can you sing that? Do you know that song?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that.
Do you know that song?
Me بعرف
Halta
أغني.
Shaban?
Okay, tell him.
What that
Mustafa,
song?
ya
Right,
Mustafa, أنا بحبك يا مصطفى. Mustafa, ya Mustafa. My mom, she don't forget the her language. All the time she talk. Somebody come talk to her, she talk. Just the kids, the children, she don't understand.
But why didn't she teach you Turkish?
My father, he don't want her to teach us.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you ask them, do they wish they learned Turkish?
كنتوا حابين كلكم تتعلموا تركي؟
Yeah. Did it appear to be a good marriage? Or do you think she was happier, content?
I have mixed stories. Some members of the family say her second marriage was okay. Some people say that it was good. Some people say it wasn't that great. I don't know.
You didn't come to greet me. I thought you would be at the front door waiting for me.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Hamudi, one of her grandchildren, really made an impact on me. He feels that he's the person he is because of her. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, she was an amazing woman, and it's a shame I didn't get to meet her, but
You've met Hamudi?
I've met Hamudi. As I got to know him and the way that he speaks about her and his connection with her made me realise what kind of a person she was.
And my mom, she liked to sleep in a 3 pillow, and she liked to put that after her neck like this. That's why she liked, and she gave it to Muhammad before when she died. She told him, you have to keep it.
You're so lucky you had a beautiful grandma.
Yeah, I know. It's very nice. I don't remember when I'm asleep, when I dream it, I'm awake and all cry because I don't like to remember in my dream because I'm ready cry because I love her. When she died, I don't sleep cry. I don't stop.
It's yours.
Can I go away?
We always question these things and we wonder why these things happen. And for me, when I came back from Palestine and Jordan, I knew that my life would never be the same. I felt that, we made this documentary project and, it's okay. I've met these people now. It's amazing. We've closed. No, the chapter's not closed. The journey continues. The inquiry continues. And this is the thing that has really stayed with me.
Kaç tane çocuğu var değil mi?
Şimdilik ilk konuştuklarımdan 3 çocuk var. Konuştum.
İkinci kocasından da 10 tane çocuğu oldu.
Bana. Vay. Bilmem
Toplam 13. İsterler seninle de tanışsınlar. Ama dedim bekleyin ben gideceğim amcamı bulayım, söyleyeyim istemedim telefonda söyleyeyim sana.
Tamam. Getirelim bir tane.
Now you can see better, right?
إبراهيم
شايف السلسلة؟ شفت هذه السلسلة اللي فيها هذه الفتحات بتاعت المي.
معقول؟
بلا بيت
ماما
يا حصة.
الحمد لله.
شوفوا يا رب. الحمد لله الله.
يا بني يا ماما وين انت؟ وين انت يا ربي؟ وين؟ يا ربي وين بكت وين؟ وين بكت انت؟ هانا بكت الكفر. هي هانا انت ولا هانا؟ هي بكت الكهانة كلها يا خيم. يا بني يا ربي سكي لك يا ربي. يا بني أمي هانا هانا ماما هانا إني هانا إني هانا إني هانا
خلاص؟ خلاص.
ها
She'll be very happy with this. Thank you.
تمام.
We've managed to create the path actually for other families to be connected.
Pembe, it will be a favor from you and your colleagues.
Yes.
You see, if you do your best to find the relatives of this family.
Okay,
I will.
Fazile is the woman that my auntie stayed with after she divorced her first husband. I met her daughter and her children when I was in Palestine. Then when I came back to Cyprus, I found her cousins for her.
Hello. How are you? Very fine.
They came to Cyprus, they met their family.
You're creating a whole network to connect people together.
Exactly. We're using social media and the Facebook page to invite people to send us their information if they're looking for a relative. I have like lots of passports and ID cards. People have been sending us, you know, PDFs and photos through the Facebook page and via emails. We're doing our best to help them.
ليش تجوزتي وانت صغيرة كتير؟
ما شافش حدا يوقف ولا خليتي
Bu arada teşekkür etmek isterim size. Çünkü bana gerçekten cesaret verdiniz, ilham verdiniz. Onu aramam yanında.
This is a long-term project for me now. You know, everybody always asks me, why did you pursue this? Why would you want to do this? And, and one of the things that I say is that if you, and I always go back to my point of putting myself in her shoes, and I feel that she would have been happy that I did this.
This is my auntie, and trying to find maybe some more women that might still be alive, so we can talk to them to find out exactly what happened, what their experience was.
My daughter Fetine was with me when I visited my Aunt Fetine's grave. Her henna party celebrating her first 6 months of life coincided with what would have been Aunt Fetine's 92nd birthday. Serin will know who Fetine is, because Fetine is alive in our hearts and alive in our memories. If home is where the heart is, then Fetine has many homes, as she has many hearts around the world missing her.